500 at-bats.
Yeah.
He's got a 500 at-bat perspective. Now, we're going to also talk about Jackson Holliday, who's got a 1-for-30 stretch, but I don't know if he's looking at 500 ABs like Aaron is. That's the challenge when you're younger as opposed to a veteran guy. I remember Harold Baines would make outs. I'd look at the scoreboard, and he's hitting 100 in the end of May, and all of a sudden at the end of the year, you have his 300.
Yeah.
He'd just come back and take his helmet off and sit down. I'd be like, ready to snap, beat everything up. Are you kidding me? But I did see some things in Aaron Judge I want to point out because I think it's important to know, again, perspective. So let's listen to Aaron. I got a chance to talk with him last year, and here's what he said about hitting. But I found it interesting. You were talking about you want to take this ball and hit a line drive at the second baseman's head.
Yeah, basically, if I'm trying to, if you're playing second base, I'm trying to take your hat off. And I basically want to take your hat off, but I want that to keep going into our bullpen at Yankee Stadium right there in right.
Yeah.
So for me, my mindset that helps me keep that is like, if I'm trying to hit doesn't matter where the pitch is, if my first move and directions towards that second baseman and like hitting a line drive through him, I feel like it just keeps my bat path clean.
See, now he talked about directionally. Everything, no matter what the pitch is, I can shoot it that way. When Aaron Judge is right, Case, this is what we see. It doesn't matter if it's in or if it's out or whatever. But directionally, everything's going this direction with his body. Notice how he's finishing this way, that direction. So I started looking at it. There's a couple things that kind of stood out for me when I started looking at Aaron and breaking this down. I think we got some more tapes. Just go ahead and throw them in there, guys. So the biggest thing is I look at here, when I started following Aaron and going through his swing, this is over the weekend. He struggled on these sliders, right? Balls away, but look where he's finishing. He's finishing out here as opposed to over here, taking his body to the ball. He's just a tick off. He's actually getting ready to take off, believe it or not. So there was a couple things that I saw when I started looking at Aaron swinging the bat and going ahead. I'll go back to 2022. This is a 62 year. Look at where the hands are, a little bit lower. Here, they're up a little bit higher. But here's what I really want you to see. This is a ball down and out, a fastball away. Look at how his body's going here, and watch the finish. He's going to finish falling through. He's going to get there with that. All right, let's go to yesterday, 2024, the strikeouts. This ball's going to be a slider that breaks off the plate, not fully picking it up yet, but look at where directionally he's going. Watch him fall off the ball. Aaron Judge is right. He takes everything this direction. He'll figure it out. I'm not worried about Aaron in the least bit, but I did think as a hitter, Case, and I want to come back to you on this.
Yeah.
His hands are a little bit higher, like up almost by his face. Down here, they're a little bit lower. And this is the same spot when he gets ready to set up. What happens, we'll go to this video first. When he's able to load, now look where his hands go into a position where he fires. When he starts here and they're a little bit high, they go there and they don't get a chance to get up top and back through the zone. So he's kind of going like this instead of this, the Aaron Judge Classic. So those two little simple things. Look, it doesn't look like much, but for a hitter, if my hands are this much higher or lower, changes the whole path of which I take.
You know, the one thing about Judgy working with him last year is he's such a feel guy. He's no doubt down there doing his routine. He gets there a little early. He's got his tee work going, and he's always looking for that feel. He'll be sitting there in the cages looking for that leg kick, sitting back, doing his thing. One thing I know with Judgy and watching him swing and miss at some of the pitches and the sliders that are off the plate, I watched him do it last year when he first came off the DL. First couple weeks, he was kind of getting going, and all of a sudden, there was one game he hit an absolute moonshot to right center. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he started taking that slider away. And that pitch that was on the plate, he started rocking into right center. And all of a sudden, when you watched him, you're like, that's the best player in baseball. So
yeah.
If I'm a Yankee fan right now, and I'm looking at what's wrong with Aaron Judge, hey, listen, he's about to get hot.
Look, and you can back this camera up just a little bit. I want to show you at the plate. It is the only difference being a tick off is that ball there to there.
Yeah.
That's it. It's about this much. And that's where when he's swinging and he's missing it by that much, it's a matter of the ball getting there as opposed to being there. Yeah. And then when he's hot, it can be out here, it can be there, it doesn't matter where it's at.
I also think, too, he's a very visual player. And I think right now his vision, you know, he's making decisions out here. When Judgy starts making that decision a tick later, a couple inches later, all of a sudden that ball that's it's the strike to ball. The ball that's a strike that turns into a ball, that's, to be a big leaguer, that's the take you want. Right now, Judgy's he's taking that strike to ball and he's swinging at it. As soon as he stops doing that, you're going to see domination.
Yeah.